Good morning, doctors and general practitioners and all who are listening to this video. And we are trying to teach you saving gut microbiome to fight antimicrobial resistance. Let me start this lecture saying that humanity is just a speck in the massively bacterial world. We need to get used to that. So why I'm telling this, you will learn from now on. Human microbiome. For some of you all, this term may not be that familiar, but some of you all might have heard this. In our body, there are loads of bacteria living symbiotically with us, and they are very, very useful to us than not. So I'm just representing, because you need to read, I mean, this is only a 15-minute lecture. So you need to read this topic, and because it's very interesting to find out how much of bacteria within us, but the primary stimulation I would do by this lecture, and then let you know what you should do afterwards. After getting to this, you know how much these microbes are important for us. In our body, if we take the human genome, it denotes by this small dot, which is in blue, but genetic material, collection of genetic material of the human microbiome is red. So you can see the difference. Genetic material of microbes living within and on us are more than our genetic material, our own body cellular genetic material. It's, I mean, if we tell it in figures, it's about 10 times more than our body number of cells. 10 times more than our cells, there are microbes within us. And if we weigh them, it's like 4 to 6 pounds. Can you believe that? And also all the areas of microbiome in our body, starting from head to toe, there are different areas. All these skin areas, like geographic region of Earth, there is a different ecosystem. Just to tell you how it is happening. It's just a introduction. And I will explain little bit. Microbiota is the microorganisms. It includes bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and other single or multicellular small creatures, in particularly in the body and outer parts of the body. So the collection of these microorganisms and their genetic material together, we use the term microbiome. And this microbiome is all around us, microbiomes, right? Within us also, microbiome in our mouth will be different that of gut. But today I'm talking mainly about gut because it is directly related to antimicrobial resistance and the antibiotic or antimicrobial, how it can change our health and disease and our living and even our mental state. So it is very important to know all these to act upon positive way. So these bacteria, fungi, protozoa, viruses, all that are there. In microbiome, there are human microbiomes, animal microbiomes, environmental microbiomes. Everywhere there are bacterial niche, not only bacteria, microbial niche is around us. When we take the gut microbiome, there are about 8,000 genera. So imagine how much. Genera is a kind of coming from a big part of microbial description, where species only we give by name. So when you talk about 8,000 genera, there are maybe about trillions of species within us, right? So the bigger names, again, they are family names. If we take, they are firmicutes, bacteroidetes, actinobacteria, proteobacteria, and many others. Don't worry about these names. You all are not microbiologists, but remember that there are different types of microbes. And also, it is very unique. These microbiomes of different areas from one person to the other is unique. That is somewhat similar to our fingerprint. So, and these knowledge on microbiome started about 2-3 decades ago, but there are massive amount of knowledge we gained out of these microbiome studies. Therefore, we have a lot of answers to our health and disease and how to be healthy without getting diseases, and all can be designed when we stick to this microbiome knowledge. You have to remember, microbiome is one of the major determinant of our mental and physical health of one individual. And it is very diverse. This diversity can be changed with age, gender, race, geography, cultural practices, food habits, lifestyles, and many more, right? We will learn some of those, then you can read further if you are interested. Actually, this is very interesting to know because it is within us and it will change our life. So just the microscopic aspect of the gut microbiota and the microbiome, if you take the part of the gut inside from this gut microbiota and their genetic genes and the proteins in it, and then the metabolites in it, and the closer to epithelial cells, all these are interconnected. Inside that lumen, this connectivity is there. So microbiota, their genes and proteins they use, and metabolites of their and our enzymes and everything are interconnected. So you can imagine when their genetic material is more than us, they are the controllers. So you can learn how they control our inflammation in the gut and our lymphoid follicles, what is happening in there, and cells which recognize receptors, and also dendritic cells which inform, very important in our inflammatory and infections and protection, all that. So all these are connected within the epithelium of the gut. So the gut lumen is a massive combination of all of these, which through this epithelium, which is directly connected to our nervous system, circular system, immune system, and everything. So that is how this connectivity comes. And recently only we started to know all these facts, which we did not know a couple of decades ago. So when we get to know all these, what you will think, what are these good bacteria and what are these unfriendly bacteria? If we take friendly bacteria, like there are loads of friendly bacteria, but I will let you know few of those because names will confuse you. Lactobacillus species. There are so many lactobacillus species which are very good with us and they protect us everywhere in our body, because bifidobacterium is also another good bacteria. So within us, there can be unfriendly bacteria. One of these is Helicobacter, which causes Helicobacter pylori, which causes our gastric ulcers, right? They also, we acquire, and for them also activation happens because of our food habit and not protecting our good bacteria. And also a lot of Salmonella species are harming us now, because these Salmonella also start harming us because of our habits of eating and the various artificial practices and all. So this always, the good bacterial number is very high. It's like 95% of bacteria are good and unfriendly ones are very minute in number. So therefore always, if we protect the good bacteria, we can be safe. Right? Why should we know all these factors? Because we are dependent on these microbes to digest our food, like protein, certain vitamins, regulate our immune system, and keep us by protecting us against diseases through various mechanisms. So therefore, this microbiome in our body can call as a, it's like a fingerprint, and it can be called as a forgotten organ as well. So alteration, disruption or displacement of this microbiome can determine individuals' fate of life or living. It can lead to diabetes, dyslipidemia, obesity, autoimmune diseases, psychological problems, and loads of cancer, starting from colonic cancer, hemato-oncology, everything, right? So microbes manipulate all of the systems that I depict in this picture: our immune system, circulatory system, digestive system, neuroendocrine system, and other systems like musculoskeletal, integumentary, adipose system, all that. I mean, these generating systems as well as deposit systems, everything, almost everything can be controlled by microbiota. So all these diseases nowadays we experience. So now based on this knowledge, we can call these are diseases of civilization. Actually, we called it so-called civilization. We think getting modern food and having all kinds of I mean the sophisticated stuff to cleaning and then eating and a lot of artificial food habits and all will lead to diabetes, gastric disease, depression, Alzheimer's, irritable bowel diseases, psoriasis, arthritis, various kinds of inflammatory, painful conditions, obesity, asthma, whatnot. Every disease, there's a relationship with this disruption or dysbiosis of the microbiome. So that's why now with this knowledge, we call them as a diseases of civilization. So antimicrobial and this microbiome connection is all these antimicrobials that we used in the environment and our health and animal health, cleaning, disinfection, and all these things are interconnected. So in our sewages, in our water systems, in our food, everywhere, some amount of antimicrobes are dissolved. Therefore, we always, if one person in the society take a lot of antibiotic and if he excrete those into the system, there is a connection. So, so remember this connectivity between microbiomes and antimicrobial resistance, a very, very serious problem right now. Whole world is facing that. I will give you some examples, how this connectivity affect our health. Massive utilization of antibiotics, knowingly or unknowingly. Unknowingly means in our water we will consume some traces of antibiotic, and in our food we consume various amounts of antibiotic. So knowingly or unknowingly we are using massive amount of antibiotics. Therefore whole world is leading towards destruction. Right? The slide that I showed you, which depicts interconnections, it shows anything and everything we do are interconnected. None of us are alone. So we all are responsible for antimicrobial resistance. So that is the major message I want to give you. So as doctors, as general practitioners, and whoever qualified to do prescription, please know all these facts. So therefore, if we calculate the number of, the reason is an interconnection and deaths due to antimicrobial resistance, if you really calculate, I guess the deaths resulted due to antimicrobial resistance are more than the lives saved since the advent of the penicillin about few centuries ago. This is, if somebody calculate, I believe that it is true. So now or never, think carefully before you prescribe an antibiotic. Am I doing it right? Right? Without thinking, do not give antibiotic just because the reps come and tell you, just because any market value or anything. Do not do it and feel guilty to do that because I said so. And do not use antibiotics when it is not indicated. So therefore, you need to know where it is indicated. There will be other lectures to tell you how you judge a sepsis and when you decide what to give and what antibiotic to give. Therefore, be calm, be sure, do not antibiotic due to any other reason. Observe with mastered inactivity until you find out there is some actual reason to give antibiotic. Until then, do not prescribe it for any other reason. Even if a patient demand, even if that patient do not come back to you because you did not give antibiotic, because that is Sri Lankan situation. When a doctor is not prescribing antibiotic, the patient also start thinking, okay, that doctor is not good, I must go to another. They do doctor shopping. So, but don't worry, you did not do a bad thing. You did a right thing for the whole humankind. Therefore, we are educating patients also through these lectures, and whole world is trying these massive amounts of the educational things, schools, general public. So you also start teaching each and every patient with using 1 or 2 words. You have fever, but you do not need antibiotic. I assure you that I examined you well and I did it well. So things like that you can share with the patients to keep them educated also through your practices. So always remember, microbes are part of our immune system and they are essential to us. You teach this as well to your patients. So tell them they regulate our metabolism, cholesterol, toxin, and maintenance of hormones, mental health, all that. So do not kill microbes unless they try to harm you. So when they try to harm you, you have to find out it well and then treat, right? You should not miss that also. When they are harmful, they are very toxic, and when, I mean, even the minute number, when they are when they exert a sepsis, severe sepsis, you need to know how to diagnose early sepsis and treat adequately, but not simple viral diseases or self-limiting diseases should not be treated. Thank you very much. And please practice what I said now. Thank you again.